Can somebody tell me what the Seattle Mariners are doing this offseason? I mean, really, what are we doing? Over the last three off seasons, the Seattle Mariners have failed to even remotely make an impactful, truthfully meaning acquisition at any position. Sure, you can make the argument that going into 2023 after they surprised everybody by making the playoffs in 2022, that acquiring somebody like Colton Wong would have made a ton of sense in the world and should have been that end all be all. We make that trade, we get that guy at second base that fills the hole that the Mariners have had at second base since they traded away Robinson Cano to get somebody like Jared Kelenic years ago. But I mean, really, then you go into the 2023 offseason, you acquire Jorge Polanco. That was just a disaster. You go into the 2024 season, you get a 10-game lead going into the All-Star break and then completely piss it away faster than any team in Major League Baseball history has pissed away a 10-game lead ever. In reality, the Mariners currently have a lower payroll for their roster than they did from 2016 to 2018, with a far better overall roster than they ever had in those seasons. You have the Houston Astros making deals. You have the Oakland Athletics spending money by leaps and bounds over the Seattle Mariners. You have the Angels going out and making acquisitions and trying to get better. The Texas Rangers are making moves to try and get better. And the Seattle Mariners are doing absolutely nothing. Now, we knew going into the offseason that Jerry Dipoto and saying that there is going to be an increase in payroll was an absolute flat-out fallacy. It was just a lie. Like, since 2022, when the Mariners were supposed to be spending money in the offseason, we have gotten, I don't know, maybe a month into the offseason, and what we were told at the end of the season is just not true. What are the Mariners doing? They've got the best rotation in all of Major League Baseball, in my personal opinion. Yes, I am a little bit biased, but if you look at what the Mariners have as far as a starting rotation, this isn't just a forced trade MLB The Show type rotation that the Dodgers have built through spending money in free agency. No, the bulk, and I mean 4 of the 5 starters that the Seattle Mariners have in their rotation are ARB guys or pre-ARB guys that they themselves drafted and developed, 2 of which are Cy Young caliber, potentially all 4 at some point in time. If you look at guys like Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, George Kirby, and Logan Gilbert could potentially go just about anywhere in Major League Baseball and be a 1 or 2 in somebody's starting rotation that definitely needs starting pitching. And if you consider even just position players, you've got a top 10 center fielder in Julio Rodriguez, a true face of the franchise in Julio Rodriguez, 2-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year. Then, on top of that, you have arguably not only just the best defensive catcher in all of Major League Baseball, but also the best offensive catcher in all of Major League Baseball. And speaking of Cal Raleigh, what are the Mariners doing with Cal Raleigh currently? Cal Raleigh has officially changed agents. He's no longer with Scott Boras, so it makes it easier for them to get a extension done. And I do believe that the Mariners will be extending Cal Raleigh at some point in time within the next season. But why isn't that done already? I mean, if you're not going to spend money in free agency or go out and really truthfully acquire somebody, why not give Mariners fans some resemblance of hope and actually extend somebody like Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Cal Raleigh, somebody. I mean, just do something. What is going on with the Seattle Mariners? The Seattle Mariners, arguably, as it sits right now, have a playoff team. I mean, since 2022, they've missed the playoffs by one game in each of the last two seasons, which in reality is completely ridiculous. And if you think about it, if the Mariners spend, I don't know, 30 or 40 million dollars in one of the last two off seasons, that's one, if not two or three games that would have not only put them in the playoffs, but won the American League West. And certainly, if we're going to talk about trades right now, because apparently the Mariners only have $15 million to spend this offseason, if you're going to trade somebody, why haven't you already traded Luis Castillo for something? Things are starting to dwindle down, and the further you get into the offseason, the Mariners' options are only going to get smaller. So what are we doing here? What are the Mariners openly trying to piss off their fan base or make their fan base mad to get low enough attendance and kind of Major League Baseball movie this thing to move the Mariners out of Seattle because they've got quality now, and if they go into a very large market, then they can spend because this is a business franchise? I don't know. I can't explain it, but I'm interested to see what you guys have in the comments. Guys, if you like more daily sports content and baseball content, make sure to hit the red plus button and follow for more baseball and sports content.